Assalamu alaikum. I am Advocate Shehla Javed, and today my topic is ex parte inquiry. Ex parte inquiry is an inquiry without the participation of accused or defendant. So, generally, there is an erroneous belief and misconception about ex parte inquiry that mere reading of charges are enough and no detailed inquiry is necessary in ex parte inquiry. Because inquiry officer think that the accused or the defendant, he chose to remain absent from inquiry proceeding, so it will presume that he has nothing to say in his defense, hence the charges are proved, but this is not the case. Even in ex parte inquiry, the management or the prosecution has to prove their case on their own merits, evidence and witnesses. The case of prosecution must stand on its own footing or legs. It must stand on its own legs. So, the ex parte inquiry, it must follow the procedure of a regular inquiry. The principle of natural justice must be taken into consideration while considering the ex parte inquiry. In ex parte inquiry, there is a special feature, that is communication. Communication of inquiry notice. This is the basic and very essential part of ex parte inquiry. In the court of law and even in ex parte inquiry, you have to prove all the you have to give all the proofs of communication of inquiry notice to the defendant. The notice of inquiry must be served through all available resources. The letter of inquiry must be served on the permanent address, temporary address, all those addresses which are available with the management. And in addition to the residential addresses, other modes of communication also must be used to inform the accused, like phone calls, email, fax and other whatever you have source of communication, to make sure that the inquiry notice have been properly served to the defendant. Now, come to the procedure of inquiry, ex parte inquiry procedure. The procedure is almost same. The inquiry officer will first take the attendance of the participant, and then he will first invite the management representative to record his statement. The management representative will record his statement and he will submit before inquiry officer all those proofs of communication of inquiry notice to the inquiry officer, like the courier receipt, postal receipts, emails, etc., etc. So, after that the management representative will submit the other documentary proofs and whatever he has proved against the accused to the inquiry notice. So, after his statement, when his statement is completed, so naturally it is an ex parte inquiry, so no cross examination can be done. Then inquiry officer will ask the management representative whether he want to produce. Now, he will ask the management representative whether he want to produce any witness. If the management representative want to produce witness, then the witness will record his statement and he will submit before inquiry officer all the documentary proofs against the accused. And now the inquiry officer will analyze all the available documentary proofs and he with the reasons make an inquiry report whether the accused is guilty or not. The inquiry officer can also recommend the punishment, but this punishment is not binding on the management. It is the right of management to impose any kind of punishment, and management may disagree with the report of inquiry officers. Thank you.